Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Infinite Crypto Cruisers. Hey there, folks. My name is Brad Varnell, and this is the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. And today it is Monday. I already forgot the date. I want to say it's October 28th of 2024. Now I'm going to look down in the corner. Yep, hey, I got it right. It's in the description. And today I'm excited to kind of follow up on last week's Monday Crypto Mindset Mastery. And I've got a handful of things that I'm excited to share with you guys. You know, the title of this is Why Winners Win. I started off titling this video, Winners Never Quit. And I really, as I was thinking about that statement, I really don't think that's totally true. I do believe that there is a huge amount of truth in that statement, but I don't believe that winners never quit. I do believe that it's very, very important to pivot and, potentially, find different ways, because if you're doing something that really isn't working, if it's not what you're supposed to be doing, if you're not passionate about it, in other words, you don't want to make one bad decision and then spend your whole life, trying to make it right necessarily. So when I changed it to why do winners win, I wanted to kind of go over more of the things that what winners really have in common and what they do. And even including, sometimes when maybe, they quit. I think it's an important skill to learn in life, as like, when is it time to not necessarily quit on your dreams? There's some things that you shouldn't quit on for sure. But maybe sometimes your tactics, sometimes I think we get pigeonholed into a certain way of doing things, and we end up believing that that is the right way, the only way, and it's in this world that we're living in today, where everything is changing so quickly. It kind of reminds me of like the old Blockbuster video. Every single one of us that are on this live stream this morning probably remembers Blockbuster video, depending on how old you are. My son Joshua, just turned 18. He might not know what in the heck a Blockbuster video is, but, folks, long story short, they had an opportunity to pivot, and they also had an opportunity, to sell. Netflix offered to buy them out for a pretty incredible amount of money. And instead of changing what they were doing and or selling to Netflix, they ended up just letting Netflix, put them out of business. And so sometimes, I guess my point is, when I'm talking about, quitting, I'm not talking about, once again, like giving up on your ultimate goal, your dream of financial freedom. I'm just talking about the fact that sometimes if maybe what you're doing to get where you want to go isn't necessarily working, it's smart to evaluate whether you're doing the right thing and you just need to keep doing more of it, or if you're not doing the right thing. So I'm a huge believer in life that there's two things that are going to determine your success. So if you're working hard to create the life that you want and it's not working, there's one of two things going on. Either you aren't doing something right, or you're not doing something enough. And so I want you to evaluate in your life, if you're still struggling in an area, like what am I not doing right? Or what am I not doing enough? And if you can determine that what you're doing is right, then you can really go all in on making sure that you do it enough. And it's said in most businesses, and I think it's true in most things in life, that probably 80 to 95% of the success that you have in an area of life is caused by 5 to 20% of the activities that you do. In other words, a lot of business owners get bogged down by sending out emails and doing invoices and all of the administrative work that comes along with having to grow a business. But the fact of the matter is, most of the time, none of that stuff produces any income. It's important stuff, but it's not producing any income. And so with most businesses, you got to figure out what the revenue producing activities are. And normally those revenue producing activities are just a handful of things. There's 2, 3, 4 things that drive all of the production in the company. And you want to get back to focusing on those things. So, real quick here, I wanted to go through the chat and say good morning to everybody here in the chat. Thank you very much for being on here, Dave. I appreciate it. Tim G, awesome to have you. Welcome. And I do want to highlight, folks, we've got a sponsor here, the BYDFI exchange. They've been around since 2020. I've been using them extensively over the last month and a half. Super impressed with them. And I gotta come clean and tell you guys something. I'm a little shocked at how few of you guys have created accounts. That's part of the reason that I do the branding and the promotional packages that I have now, though, is I'm always telling these companies, hey, doing a one and done video really doesn't help your project all that much. You need a 3 or 6 month package where this project, this token, this exchange gets talked about 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 50 times, because the average person needs to see, hear, feel, and touch something 7, 10, 15, 20, 30 times before they really start to embrace it. So I really believe that, the BYDFI exchange is going to get incredible value out of being a sponsor of this channel. But they're a little disappointed with the first month's worth of results. And so am I, to be totally frank. I love you guys. And maybe a bunch of you already have accounts with this exchange, but please do me a favor. If you do not have a BYDFI exchange account, it's free to set up. My referral link is right there. And on top of that, as a bonus to make it worth your while, I'm giving away $100. I just did a video about 4 or 5 days ago that got published. It showed how I'm using the BYDFI exchange on my investment journey. Some of the tokens that I am longing right now, I really believe we're at the, pretty much at the bottom of the market, in my opinion. Yeah, we could get a little bit more downside, but I think we're very, very close to some amazing upside. So I've been longing some tokens that I really believe have great potential in this bull market, like VeChain, Polkadot, Polygon Matic, Atom, Caspa. And anyways, in that video, I really show how to create your account and sign up for everything. But I also announce a promotion. What we're going to do, let's see if I can pull this up here real fast, share my screen real quick, and see if I can get to the right page. I don't know. Hopefully I am logged in. I don't know how it got turned to white. I don't like the white at all. Maybe I'm not logged in. Let me see if I could click on this and see. I'm hoping that I'm logged in. Maybe I didn't get logged in. Come on. Oh my goodness, I need to get rid of that white screen though. I don't know how. I've had this thing on the dark mode for several weeks, and all of a sudden I pull it up today and it's on the light mode. So I don't have it pulled up. But long story short, there is a UID number, like your own personal number. And when you sign up for the exchange, I get a list. I don't get any of your personal information. I don't know who is attached to each UID number, but I get a list of UID numbers. And so it gives me the ability to, do a random drawing to give one of you guys $100. I'm going to send you $100 in USDT. I'm hoping that you guys actually use the $100 to place one of these trades, or even set it up for like, a $25 trade, 4 25s, or however you want to do it. I'm hoping that you take some of my, help and maybe turn this $100 into $1,000 or $2,000 or even $4,000 or $5,000, but it's your $100. So you're going to have an opportunity by creating your free account to get $100 from the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel by, signing up through my referral link. And then you also have access to the BYDFI, all of their bonuses. I think it's somewhere in the ballpark of about $8,000 worth of bonuses that you can earn by making different deposits and trading on the platform. So you have to do a little something in order to earn those bonuses with the BYDFI exchange. My $100 is just go ahead and create the account. So enough about that. I don't want to be spending my whole time advertising, but these guys are an incredible sponsor of the channel, and I really want to make sure that they're getting some incredible value and that they're glad that they chose to work with the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. So at this point, I kind of want to go back to last week real quick, and if there's anybody here in the group that did what we were talking about last week, we mentioned start off small, that the habit is more important than the amount, and pick out something little. And I believe that Dave and Eric both committed to doing something. So if you guys wouldn't mind real quick in the chat, remind me exactly what it was that you committed to doing every day for the next 7 days since that Monday chain, and then let us know, how it went for you. Were you able to remember, and were you able to do it every day for the 7 days? Oh my goodness, I got so many brandings now. It's hard for me to find. I do want to promote myself for a quick second here, but so let's go over to the chat, and Dave and Eric, I know that you guys, it sounds like, took on the challenge. I'm kind of curious how that went for you. And then anybody else, if you were on here last Monday and you listened to that and you decided to do something, whether it was brush your teeth every day for the next 7 days or just go do one push-up for the 7 days, 20 push-ups, but you missed a day. Hey, man, congratulations. That's still, 120 more push-ups than you would have done. And I'm glad, in a sense, that you had the opportunity to just do it for 6 or 7 days, because it kind of goes in with the theme of what I'm going to be talking about for the rest of this, this show here. Once we kind of, talk about this a little bit. How's it going, Eric? Were you able to continue on your journey? And let me see here. So Eric, I've been doing an audiobook recap a day, missed a day, so I doubled up the next. Okay, that's fantastic. So both of these gentlemen, jumped on the challenge and decided to do something positive in their life for the next 7 days. And they both were able to get it done for 6 of the 7 days. And that's awesome. Way better than not having done anything at all. And, and I'm going to challenge both of them and you guys to pick out something that you want to do for the next 7 days. And whether it's, continuing on with the 20 push-ups, Dave, or continuing on with your audiobook recap, let's see if we can get it done for all 7 days. Tim, I started late, but I'm being more active with push-ups and squats for at least 5 or 10 minutes. That's fantastic, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. Folks, I really want to see real change in people's lives. And that's why I do this YouTube channel. And so right now, I want to tell you a story that I heard over the weekend that I thought was pretty incredible. It was really impactful. It was a little bit of a surprise. A little bit of a surprise ending. It caught me by surprise. And, hopefully this little parable will really make sense to you guys. And then after I tell this story, I have to come clean about something in my life in order to, to be in integrity. So I thought this was a pretty cool story. Hopefully you guys will like it too. There's a CEO or a founder and owner of a huge corporation, multi-million, maybe even $1 billion, corporation. and he is 92 years old, and he decides that he needs to figure out who is going to be his successor. And so he has a board meeting, and he pulls in all of the top executives. He pulls in all of the key players in his organization, and he tells them, hey, I'm 92 years old. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be around. I want to make sure that this company, moves forward and continues to grow and prosper in the decades to come. And so I've decided that I'm going to hand over the reins of the company to one of you. And I really fought back and forth with myself and tried to figure out who was the best candidate for the job. And there's really so many of you that are fantastic that I just couldn't decide. So I decided to put together a little bit of a test and really, and I'm going to decide which one of you deserves to take over this company in about 6 months. And he said, so if you guys will, look underneath your chairs and pull out the envelope that's underneath your chairs, you'll see what the test is. And so all of the executives reach underneath their chair, they pull out this envelope, they open it, and there's one seed, one like pea-sized seed inside of each of these envelopes. And the founder, the owner of this company tells them all, I want you all to take this seed and I want you to plant it, fertilize it, grow it, however you see fit. But whoever comes back here in 6 months with the best tree, it's a seed that's, it's a seed that grows into a tree. Whichever one of you guys comes in with the best tree in 6 months is going to get to take over the company. So these guys and gals are excited. They go home and, they're all trying to figure out different ways to make this thing grow the greenest and to grow the tallest and grow the best. And long story short, they come back in 6 months for the next board meeting to see who is going to win. And some of these guys have just incredible trees. Some are greener than others. Some are, way taller than you would expect them to be in 6 months. And there's one guy sitting in the boardroom who's just got nothing but a seed. Like he has nothing. The seed is exactly the same as it was when he left. And so the owner is looking around the room and he sees all these amazing trees, and he can tell that these folks, really, tried hard. But he looks over at Henry and he says, hey, Henry, how come you don't have a tree? And Henry says, sir, I did everything I could think of, man. I planted it and it didn't grow. I put it in a different planter and I fertilized it and it didn't grow. And I did everything that I could possibly imagine over the last 6 months, sir. And this seed just would not grow. And the founder of the company says, I'm proud of you, Henry. You get to take over the company. For the rest of you guys, I just want you to know that I boiled all of the seeds before I gave them to you, and it would be impossible for you to have grown a tree with the seed that I gave you. I think it's relatively obvious, folks, what the moral of the story was. But at the same time, I just want to expand on it for just a second. Henry won the company because he was honest. All of the other executives were so worried about winning and providing the best tree that they obviously cheated. And so the guy that was honest, and how hard would that have been? It was a shorter story, but just think about how hard would that have been if you're Henry? And especially if you see in some of these other people, maybe they got their tree growing in the corner of their cubicle or in their office, and you see them growing this tree and it's green and it's getting taller, and you're sitting there with this seed, and you're certain that you're not going to be the new leader of this company, yet your integrity is so high that you do the right thing even when it's hard. And I think that story illustrates an important important principle in life, guys. And I hope that you look at your life and wonder and ask yourself, would you have been a Henry or would you have been somebody else? And I got to come clean, man. I might have been somebody else. I want to think that I would be a Henry, but man, I am an imperfect person. I make a ton of mistakes. I do a lot of things that I wish that I hadn't done. And, I'm spending my life, working on myself and trying to become the person. I would like to be able to look in the mirror someday and know for sure that I would have been the Henry in the group. And on that note, so I got to come clean. I was doing 75 hard and I got very, very close to finishing the 75 hard. I've finished it to completion, 75 days, a multiple of times. But this last time, when we started moving about a month ago, man, the first 2 or 3 days of the move, I got through everything. I was still doing my workouts, I got everything done, but I finally succumbed on about, I want to say it was about day 63 of day 75, where I just had a day where I got started late. I wasn't able to get my workout in, which meant normally I drink a lot of water during my workout, so I got behind on my water. And then long story short, my son and I had to drive back to Las Vegas and drop off the moving truck and pick up the last car that we had in Las Vegas and drive it back. And long story short, about 6 o'clock at night, I hadn't done anything that I needed to do for the 75 hard. We were starving to death, and I made the wrong decision. Unfortunately, I decided to have some Jack in the Box. And part of the reason that I decided to have Jack in the Box was because I knew that I wasn't going to follow through that day and try to do everything that I was supposed to do for my 75 hard. So I kind of threw in the towel. I knew I wasn't going to go home and at 8 or 9 o'clock at night still try to do both workouts. I let myself, think to, man, drinking a whole gallon of water at 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night is going to keep me up all night peeing. And long story short, I made the wrong decision. And then on top of making the wrong decision, I'd made up my mind that I was going to go ahead and fail on day 63. Well, that also, because I was failing on day 63, now I could eat fast food because I was going to fail anyways. So I went and had some Jack in the Box. So what's the moral of the story? Well, folks, I blew it. And my subconscious mind knew I blew it. And of course, the next day, I had good intentions. I was going to start back up on 75 hard, but then the loser in me got the better of me, folks. I'm human. The loser on me said, hey, why don't you wait a couple of days and start 75 hard and maybe, enjoy a meal or two. You've been, pretty disciplined for the last 63 days, maybe eat a meal or two, some stuff that maybe you wouldn't have had while you were on the 75 hard, take a break. You've been working out twice a day for 63 days, 62 days. I think it was 63 that I failed. So 62 days, give your body a couple of days rest, blah, 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 blah. You guys have all done it and heard that voice in your head. And when you're listening to that voice, that it's a bunch of baloney, that it's a bunch of garbage, that you shouldn't listen to him. But hey, we're human. So I want to come clean. So long story short, I just restarted finally. It's been basically a month. I just restarted 75 hard today. I woke up this morning. I read 10 pages in my book, which is one of the tasks. I took my picture, which is one of the tasks, and I drank 1 bottle of water to just kind of get things rolling. And then after this live stream is over, I'm going to get my first workout done. But I'm really sad to say that I was building some incredible momentum. I had went from 257 going on 258 pounds all the way down to about 239 pounds. And over the last month, not only did I quit doing 75 hard, but I got completely off the rails. I started eating stuff that I wouldn't normally eat. One of the rules on 75 hard is no sweets. So all of a sudden I hadn't had any sweets for 60 something days. So all of a sudden, I had an apple crisp with ice cream at a restaurant one night. Well, guess what that turned into? Then we ended up going to Sonic a couple of days later and having a milkshake. And long story short, I weighed myself today and I was all the way back up to 251.8 pounds and just disgusted. Like my wife last night, I was looking in the mirror. I got done taking a shower. And so I was just, in my boxer shorts, and I'm looking in the mirror, and my wife like, "What's wrong?" I said, "Man, I'm just disgusted with myself. I'm just sick. I can't believe that I had this momentum and I got all the way down to, 239 pounds on the way." And, and the other frustrating things, I think I might have mentioned this to you guys before, is I have gone from this 250, 260 pound range down into the 230s 4 or 5 times. And I think the lowest that I ever got on this journey to get down to 199 pounds was about 225 pounds. So I was super excited when I hit that 239. I was excited to get back into the 220s. And then, I blew it. And I don't know what's going on in my head, why I have this mental block, if you will, why I have this, why my brain or my body, my being believes that 230-ish pounds is like where I should be. So I'm fighting through it. But the reason I tell you guys all of that is just to let you know that, I'm human. And I want to be transparent with you guys. Like, I have a long ways to go on this journey. I know sometimes, you see me here, I'm doing these videos and, Brad's got it all together, but I want to tell you, I got so much in my life that I'm working on and that I'm struggling with and that I'm going through. My relationship with my Lord and Creator, Jesus Christ, has been a little bit anemic. We moved away from our church. And so, long story short, we went back to Vegas yesterday and I got to, see my church friends and I got some church. But man, over the last month, I haven't been anywhere near as engaged with God as I was. And so this move has been an interesting thing. There's a lot of positive things that have happened with this move, and I'm glad that we did it. But holy smokes, it threw me off my routine and really caused me to be a person that wasn't happy about being. But I'm here to tell you guys that it's okay, that we're going to get knocked down a whole bunch in life. And I guess this is where the winners never quit part comes in. The winners never quit because they got back up. And I'm on day 1 of 75 hard again. And that's what is important. That's when I'm talking about, winners never quit and quitters never win. I know several people, I know personal people that tried to do this 75 hard challenge and they couldn't do it. They gave up. And the thing is until you quit trying, you haven't failed. I know other people that failed on day 1 or 2 or 3 multiple times. And then they finally got to day 14 and they failed. And they started over at day 1. They got to day 22 and they failed. I know people that have failed 7, 6, 8, 9, 10, 15 times before they actually got it done. So I want to tell you guys, if you ever decide to do the 75 hard challenge, make sure that you decide before you start that you're going to finish it, that you're going to complete it. You don't care if it takes you 2 tries or 27 tries, you're going to complete it, because I promise you, if you do it for part of the days and then quit, you're never going to be the same. There's one guy that I don't think he's listening to this, but I met a guy that on day 66, folks, he forgot to drink about 3 ounces of water. And the rules for this 75 hard are you do everything you're supposed to do or you don't. There is no gray. Like, he didn't drink 128 ounces of water. He drank like 125 ounces. You might say, well, that's no big deal. It was 1.5 swallows. That's not the point. Like, I agree. Literally, he could have drank the last little bit of water in about 3-4 seconds. It would have taken him to pop the lid off, but he forgot and he fell asleep. And this young man, he's in his early 20s. like I said, I don't think he's listening to this, but if he is, I would love it if he is. And he'll know who I'm talking about, because he's, there's only so many people that know me that could have had this story. But long story short, he made a error in judgment, and he never started over. He never finished 75 hard. And the moral to the story is, folks, this young man had a pretty successful business that he was running. And granted, I know that the economy has been a little rough over the last couple of years. And don't get me wrong, man. I'm not saying that not finishing 75 hard and restarting it is the reason that he's going through the struggles that he's going through now. But I know enough about life here at 51 years old and doing some of these things myself to know that it's part of it. So long story short, he just messaged me, not too long ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, going through some incredibly hard financial problems, about ready to lose his business, and really going through some incredibly hard things. And I promise you, his decision to quit on day 66 and not start back over is still haunting him. And if he is to listen to this, I would pray that he would hear me and he would start back over. And I promise you guys, might sound crazy to you, but I've absolutely promised, I know beyond any shadow of a doubt, that if he started over on 75 hard and actually completed the 75 days, that during these next 75 days while he was doing it, he would probably figure out and fix a lot of the challenges that he's having in the other areas of his life. And once he completed that 75 hard, the rest of his life would be on a different trajectory. It's not the fact that, like doing 63 days like I did is probably better than 90% of the people that did or have tried to do 75 hard, but that's not the point. And so, folks, you gotta make up your mind to what you're going to do and then do it. So this challenge last week was just something simple. Pick out something that you can do for the next 7 days and just do it for all 7 days. And as you saw, the people that did it still didn't do it, and that's okay. That's okay. Eric and Dave, you did. I'm proud of you for trying, but the moral of the story is I'm praying that you guys both decide that you're going to do it for the next 7 days, and that you both can come back next Monday and say you didn't miss a day. Now, if you decide to do something longer or further, great. But because you committed to doing this for 7 days and you only got 6 days done, I'm hoping that you hear what I say and that you go ahead and restart today and you do it for the next 7 days straight. That's going to create momentum in your life. It's going to create hey, I kept the promise that I made to myself, because 6 of 7 days is great, but it's still a fail. And that's the other thing about life, folks, that you got to start understanding is, yes, if you win 90% of the time, in the long run, you are going to win in life. But if you really want to have an extra special, extraordinary life, you want to make sure that you're winning 100% of the time. And that doesn't mean that you're never going to fail. That just means that you're not going to quit. And so I don't care if it takes you 6 years to actually listen to the audio recap for 7 days in a row. I don't care, Dave, if it takes you 6 years to actually do 20 push-ups for 7 days in a row. As long as every time you don't do it and do it for 7 days straight, you start over and you keep trying, then you're winning in life. But the moment that you say, hey, 6 out of 7 days was pretty good, I'm done with that, I'm telling you, you're setting your mind up for failure. And so I hope that you guys are hearing me. And then how does this translate? Like, how does this all translate into my cryptocurrency journey? Like, what in the world are you talking about here? How does this have anything to do with cryptocurrency? Well, folks, I'm telling you, all of this has something to do with all of the areas of your life. When you start to get this right in your life, it's going to affect your relationships. It's going to affect your marriage. It's going to affect the relationship that you have with your children. one of my mentors, a gentleman named Ed Milet, you've heard me talk about it many, 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 many times. I'm going to probably upset some of you guys talking about this, but that's okay. Know that this is in love. And once again, know that this is something that I know I have a whole long ways to go on, guys. I have a long ways to go on this, but for you parents out there, he contends that one of the most insidious forms of child neglect is not becoming the man or woman that you are capable of becoming. Not showing your children a man or woman that keeps the promises that they make to themselves. Not showing your children the success. In other words, how many of us have grown up? I grew up with parents that were like this, and I am a parent that unfortunately was like this to a certain extent, and I'm working on it now. Once again, like I said, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings here. This is not designed to hurt your feelings, but it's just awareness, wake you up. How many of you had parents and or are a parent that have told your children, hey, you can do whatever you want in life. You can be successful. If you want to be a football player, you can be a football player. If you want to be a movie star, you can be a movie star. If you want to be wealthy and have, nice houses and nice cars and have the ability to take vacations and be there for all of your kids' events, you can do it. And then you haven't done that yourself. Let me ask you a question. If your children are 8, 9, 10, 15 years old, and you've been telling them their whole life that they can do whatever they put their mind to. They want to be an astronaut, they can be an astronaut. If they want to be the president of the United States, they can do it. And yet, I'm walking around 51 pounds overweight and still haven't made it anywhere near as financially successful as I have the capabilities of. My spiritual relationship is a little bit weak. I love God and I know I'm going to heaven, but do I put God first? Not really. I don't. I need to, and I'm working on it. I'm hoping that by being transparent to you guys, that it's a wake-up call for me. But folks, Ed Milet contends that that's one of the worst forms of child neglect. And he's told some of his friends that. He's got friends that have done, well in life. They're like, what are you talking about? I make good money. My kids have, everything they need. They got this, they got that. But these people are nowhere near living up to their full potential and really showing their children what they can do and living it in their own life. So I challenge you, if that brings a little tear to your eye, even if it pisses you off at me, if it pisses you off, to be honest, you probably know I'm right. Because I love one of my friends, Jesse McPherson, says this all the time. He says, the truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. And so, folks, if what I just said hurt a little bit and it pisses you off, so be it. But let's all admit, probably everybody on here watching this call has either had parents that said that things to us and then they didn't live it, or we are the parents that have said those things to our kids and yet we didn't live it for them. And then the worst part is what happens when your kids start asking you, well, why don't you, Dad? You're always telling me you got these big dreams. You want to, own vacation property in the Bahamas, and you want to do this, and you want to do that, and you want to do this. And, you've been telling me, my kids were introduced to me. I adopted my children. My kids were introduced to me 11 years ago when they were, like 6 going on 7 and 9 going on 10. They've known me for 11 years. I've been overweight and out of shape those whole 11 years. They've watched me struggle those whole 11 years. Now, okay, I'm proud of myself because I haven't quit. I know a lot of overweight, out of shape people that have just given up, that say, hey, this is just the way I am. This is how I'm going to eat. If I die when I'm 55 or 65 because I'm out of shape, so be it. And I'm not that guy. Like, I'm going to work on this every day, you know, for the rest of my life. But still, here I am telling my kids, hey, you can be whatever you want to be. You can have whatever you want to have. I'm sure neither one of them has ever really walked right up to me and said, well, then why after 11 years are you still 52 pounds overweight? But I know they're thinking it. They got to be thinking it. So, folks, I'm telling you, if you want your kids to win, you got to win. They got to see you win. Once again, folks, I get emotional about this stuff because this is more than just making money, man. Yeah, cryptocurrency is a way to have financial freedom. And that's part of a huge part of the reason that this channel exists. And we're going to do it. We're going to make so much money over the next handful of months that it's going to change most of our lives financially. But I'm here to tell you the whole reason this Monday exists is because I don't care if you make 10 million in the next 3 or 4 months. It ain't going to change the shape that you're in. It's not going to change the relationship that you have with your wife. Yeah, I mean, or husband. Yeah, I mean, if financial struggles have been a big problem, then having more money is certainly going to help. But I'm here to tell you, if you're not winning in life, if you're not setting an example, and what I mean by winning, once again, I want to make this abundantly clear. Winning in life is keeping the promises that you make to yourself. I don't have to be 199 pounds to have won. I just have to be on the journey. So like this last month when my son, who would love for me to live until I'm 75 or 85 or 105, God willing, looks at me and I'm eating milkshakes and cake and ice cream and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, going to In-N-Out and ordering 2 double cheeseburgers and fries and slathering them with ketchup and Thousand Island. Like, I'm sure that he wonders what in the world is going on. Why can't this guy keep it together for long enough to win in life? Why can't he get this done? And then when I go and tell him, hey, son, you can have whatever you want in life. You can be in the shape that you want to be in. You can have the money. Like, seriously, this video today is all for me. Hopefully you guys get something out of it. But I'm sitting here at 51 years old, and I know I ain't making it the way that I deserve to make it, in the way that my friends and my family and my loved ones deserve for me to make it. And I'm getting emotional. Your friends and your family and your loved ones are going to love you anyways. My wife loves me. Most incredible woman in the world. She loves me. Is she going to be proud and excited and thrilled to death when I'm 199 pounds? Absolutely. Is it going to change whether or not we're together for the rest of our lives? I don't believe so. But she deserves me at 199 pounds, not this overweight guy that doesn't have the energy that I should have, you know, doesn't probably have the libido that I should have. There's a lot of things that my overweightness affects in my life, and it's not fair to the people that love me. You know, same thing, you know, financially. Part of winning is going through and making mistakes, but I definitely made some mistakes over the last handful of years and didn't take full advantage of the last bull run and didn't put myself in a position where this bear market, I was insulated from it. This bear market has been extremely challenging on me and my family, especially, like I've always said, that if you've never had money, then you really, you know, you don't know what you're missing. And it's not, you like, you know, you just used to what you're used to, and it ain't that big of a deal. You don't really miss it in a way. Like, you want it. It'd be nice to be wealthy, but I'm telling you, it's a whole nother thing when you finally get wealthy, when you finally make it in life, you know, 48 years old, and finally have some financial freedom and really have the ability to enjoy life the way that you deserve and your family deserves. And you're under the impression that it's just going to keep getting better, that you're right there, you're ready to start buying some of these vacation homes and doing some of this amazing stuff. And then all of a sudden, the rug gets pulled out from underneath you. The market turns sideways, and you made some financial mistakes. And now, for the last 3 years, it's been a little bit different. Like 21 and 22 was still relative. The first 6 months of 2022 were still pretty good, man. But when Bitcoin, finally made that move from 40K down to 25K and then down to 17K, we had to tighten up our belts a little bit. We had to stop doing some of the things that we were doing back in 2021 when the money was just flowing in. And every day I looked at my portfolio and it was just going up. My wife and my kids have had to pay the price over this last 3 years. And they've been incredibly supportive, and I know where we're going, and I know we're going to get there. But man, I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to this next 6 months to 12 months and getting back to what I was used to back in 2021, and also having the skills and the ability to maintain it much better than I did back in 22 and 23. And so, with that, folks, we've been going on for just about an hour. Dave P, hey, thank you very much, man. Dave just signed up for BYDFI. Folks, if you don't have a BYDFI account, I really highly recommend you go check it out. They've got some incredible promotions going on right now. Once again, like I mentioned earlier, I'm giving away $100 to one of you lucky people that fills this out. I'm going to choose a winner through like a random number generator. Eric Bernstein put that 100% in when I talked about starting over today and doing his 7 days. So it sounds like he's committed to doing his audiobook recap for the next 7 days. John Lopez, great advice. Hey, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. I'm trying hard here to, give you guys the best value that I can. And hopefully, I'm excited. I know that there's going to be a percentage of us that really change our lives, and that over the next handful of years, this community is just going to get stronger. It's going to grow deeper roots. I believe that many of us are going to become close friends. I really have a vision where 5, 10, 25, 50, 100 of us that are really made the difference in our life and that are living the life that we need to live and providing that example for the other people around us. I hope, I see us on a tropical island, enjoying each other's company on these incredible trips and doing stuff together as a community, because of this YouTube channel. And so I do very much appreciate that, John. And thank you for supporting the channel. Absolutely agree. I love you, Eric, man. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all of you. And then what do we got going on here? Hey, there she is. Sorry I'm late. Hope your Monday is great. Hit that like, subscribe, and share. We appreciate you all. Amen, babe. Thank you, sweetheart. I love you so much. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate your support, and looking forward to, having everything that we dreamed about, everything that we are dreaming about, everything that we're talking about is on the way, babe. And I'm committed to being the man that I need to be to make it happen, to being consistent, to getting rid of this weight, to making the financial choices, and just doing the things that I need to do to give you the life that you deserve. And I just thank you, and I love you. I appreciate you for sticking with me for the last 11 years. I know that I have not made it easy on you. And once again, you have to be kind of a special woman to put up with a guy like me. And I got very lucky that God brought this lady into my life. So thank you so much for being here. Dave, text yellow goal. Awesome. Good morning, Deadwood. Hey, man, hope you are doing good. It sounds like, I was thinking about you, Deadwood. You hadn't been around a whole lot lately for the last, few weeks. So I was going to actually reach out to you and send you a DM and make sure that all was good, that life was good. Glad to hear from you. Glad you're here, and excited to have you back around. And I have dropped a few pounds, Deadwood. I was all the way down from about 257, 258 down to 239. And that's part of what this show was about. I kind of goofed up and got off track. And I'm back to 251.8. It was what I weighed today. So I'm still down 5-6 pounds over the last 90 days. But I was down 17 pounds, and that was about 30 days ago. Had I stuck to what I was doing the way that I should have stuck to it, I would probably be down to about 230 right now, which means I would have lost, say, 27 pounds instead of only being at 6 or 7 pounds. But that's why this is titled Why Winners Win. And it's partially because winners never quit. And so I'm back on it. I'm doing the things that I need to do. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And so with that, folks, man, I hope that today was a little bit inspiring to you. I hope that you get off this call and you're ready to go, do some serious winning in your lives and, figure out what it is that you're not winning in right now. And then just make a decision that you're going to start winning in it. And as we talked about last week, just make small little baby steps. If your relationship or your weight or your finances, anything like that is out of whack, tell you, don't try to change it all in one day. Don't go from never working out for the last 5 years to saying that you're going to go to the gym 7 days a week for an hour a day. Like, just do 5 or 10 minutes, or like, Tim said he's doing 5 or 10 minutes of some squats and some stuff. Dave P said he was doing, 20 push-ups a day. And so just do something and then just do it consistently. So with that, folks, God bless you all. Thank you all for joining me. Last but not least, I do want to mention, man, we've had some incredible projects come across the Infinite Crypto YouTube desk. I've hired a couple more people that are researching and working on projects. I do want to mention that there are a couple of meme coin videos coming out, and I know that I'm not big on meme coins. I don't talk a lot about meme coins, but folks, there's probably a very high probability that a couple of the best producing tokens during this bull market are going to be meme coins. Like, if you had to bet your money on what's going to have the best multiples, the most X's during this bull cycle, is it going to be a meme coin? Is it going to be a AI token? Is it going to be an RWA? Is it going to be a DeFi? What's it going to be? I think the smart money would be on a meme coin. Now, having said that, I think if you invest in 10 meme coins, probably going to lose money in 9 of them. And you could invest 99 or 100 meme coins and lose money in 99 of them. And the one that made it, though, could make you so much money that it was all worthwhile. So having said that, I'm extremely particular, and I'm doing the best that I can to vet these projects and really make sure that the ownership and the people that I'm talking to from the team align with some of our principles. I'm doing the best that I can to make sure that these companies aren't rug pulls, that they don't have bad intentions. And once again, especially in the meme coin world, that may not mean that much. A lot of times, these companies are going to go out of business. So don't go crazy on these tokens, but there are a few meme coins coming. I don't want you to hate me for it. I think that these projects are pretty cool projects. We've also got some really incredible utility tokens. I put out an interview yesterday on a token called Hyper AGI. I recommend you take a look at that video. Maybe go check out their website. I've got a video that I'm doing today at 11 o'clock in the morning with a project called MBD. I want to say MBD Financials, or MDB. I think, yeah, it's MDB Financials, I believe. It's either MDB or MBD Financials. And they're sitting at maybe $1 million, $1.5 million market cap. I really like what I see there. We've talked about NEURAHUB. I do want to mention, NEURAHUB, real super quickly. This is one of the official sponsors of the channel. When I first started talking about this company, folks, it was sitting at under 2 cents. Oh my goodness. I got way too many brandings now. We're really trying hard to brand for these projects because we believe that it's an incredible value add to the projects that not only are sponsoring us, but even the ones that are just coming on and doing interviews and doing these token teasers. But man, I got so many brandings that it's hard to find them sometimes. So this is NEURAHUB, ticker NEURA, neurahub.app. But folks, this thing has gone from under 2 cents to over 4 cents in the last 30 days. And the interesting thing was when we were talking to these guys and, you know, hashing out all the details, whether or not they wanted to, you know, sponsor the channel, the founder that I was talking to said, hey, Brad, this token is going to over double in the next 2 weeks to 30 days. And I love the fact that they kept their word. They've announced a couple of exciting updates. They've announced some new things that they're doing with their AI. They announced a Telegram, a little Telegram app, an AI Telegram feature that you can do right now from your Telegram. And boom, this thing is over doubled in the last 30 days. It's still sitting at under $4 million market cap though, folks. So once again, I don't want to get too far off the beaten path, but I do want to mention, you know, we've been finding some incredible tokens for you guys. And so I hope that you continue to, you know, get a little bit of money invested here and there. Like, you don't need to throw $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 at a token like NEURAHUB. You know, if you've got lots of money, I wouldn't try to talk you out of throwing $5,000 at it. I think that would be an incredible investment. But man, you can make a lot of money with a token like this by just throwing a couple $200 or $300 at it. When this thing does a 25, 50, 100x, you know, 300 times 100 is 30 grand in my book. You know, that's a huge difference. It doesn't take turning 300 into 30 grand. You don't have to do that very many times to change the wealth needle in your life. So with that, folks, God bless you. Have a fantastic day. I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday, where we will go through a bunch more microcap crypto gems. Take care. We'll see you in the next video.